Well, knee-high to a grasshopper's the old phrase. We are knee-deep in the four Beatles once again this afternoon. Side Carl Denver Trio.
We've all had our troubles and parted. We'll be the same as we started.
We've traveled along, singing a song side by side, oh yeah. Side by
What are you two doing up here anyway?
We've come to plug Ringo, jolly good.
Oh, we're in with a drummer. Aye! That'll do for me. Yes, Ringo's going to give us his one and only song,
Jolly good.
The Boys.
There's been one voice noticeably absent from the Beatles, that of George Harrison. Here's why.
If there's anything that you want, if there's anything I can do.
Oh, we shouldn't laugh, George. It's awfully rough. I think I should just add that the program that you're listening to has been recorded, and we're actually talking to you from a few weeks ago. So if you were by any chance thinking of seeing the Beatles in action perhaps tonight, there George will be, large as life and twice as beautiful. Right?
Pardon?
On with the music.
And you may well wonder who it was the Beatles saw standing there. Well, it could have been Sheila Selby of the Horseshoes, High Wycombe, because she's been standing around waiting for her car to be read. Hey, Paul, how do you feel after that fabulous 21st birthday party I hear you had?
Oh, great, yeah, we had a great
Tell
time.
me, was Harry there?
Yeah, with his box.
Was he?
Yeah,
The box is all right, is it?
turned up fine.
Good.
All the best.
You feel like a man now?
Yeah, I feel great, thanks.
Great.
Yeah. Having a great time.
Anna with John Lennon taking the lead. You know, John, I'm very, very glad that you sang that.
Jolly good, really.
Yes, I'm particularly glad for Gwendolen Hopkins of Lempton Abbey Estate in Nottingham, because she says that she wouldn't love you anymore if you hadn't sung it. Aren't you glad?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Why?
It's also for Valerie King of Temple Fortune and Miss L. Goldstein of Greenway Avenue, Walthamstow, and it was requested for them by their friend, Susanna Paula Lawton of Finchley, London. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay, take 5, boys. These girls are worried. Gillian Archer and Patricia McLean. Where'd they come from? Hanwell, that's right. They're worried because it doesn't say on the LP who sings this next song. Who does?
I do.
Well, who are you?
Paul?
Oh, that seems to take care of that. Oh, no. P.S. I love you. It's all over again, but of course, we'll all be at it again soon. Our thanks to the Bachelors for supplying the variety. So long from me, Lee Peters, and our producer, Terry Hennebury. And from the Beatles, this sound.
And now some more music from the Beatles. Their big one, From Me to You, for which there's a stack of requests. Paul, we've time for, I think, a couple of quick ones. Would you do this one?
Yeah, this is for Pete Robinson of 40 King Edward Avenue, Raynham in Essex. It's his 21st today. It's also for Mavis, Tony, Pam, Alan, Rose, Mick, Christine, Pat, Anne, Beryl, Bob and Christine.
Have you done?
Yeah.
Right. A quick dedication also to Winifred Stebbings at 16 Woodhead Road, Walkergate, Newcastle on Tyne. Here we go, From Me to You.
Now, I've been through all the requests this week, and I couldn't find one for a carol. And I don't mean a Christmas song. So never mind, eh? Because for all the little darlings called Carol, here's the Beatles with Carol. Beatles turn again with Lend Me Your Comb. What can I say about this one? I have no comment to make at this time. With these haircuts? Sing, fellas, sing!
Side by side.
Well, knee-high to a grasshopper's the old phrase. We're knee-deep in the four Beatles once again this afternoon.
We've all had our troubles and parted. We'll be the same as we started.
We've traveled along, singing this song side by side. Oh yeah. Side by
Nothing shaking. Now, this one goes way back to the very first recording the Beatles ever made. I'm taking you way back now to 1962. Let me remind you of some of the events of that momentous year. Let's see, Spurs won the Cup double. The summer lasted a whole weekend. And the Beatles recorded Love Me Do. Oh, but it's droll stuff.
Oh, George, what's the name of this next one? Well, it's called So How Come Nobody, brackets, Loves Me, brackets. Haha.
What's it say to you? And once again, the clock has beaten us. Can you come back next week? No! You'll be here. And next week at the same time when the prize will stand at the Beatles.
It's 5 o'clock. We're ready to pop. It's the Pop Go the Beatles spot. John Lennon, George Harrison, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. That's the Beatles. And this is Rodney Burke. Not to mention Harry in his box, so I won't mention him. All aboard! And now back to reality and another couple of requests for the Beatles. And the first one says, Dear Whack, since we met the most popular boys in the hit parade, they are easily the winners. This is very carefully cut out of all kinds of various newspapers. And it goes on, we beg for that true Beatles sound, especially for us. Love, Pat and Annette. That's from Worcester. There's one for you here, Paul.
Yeah, this is from Carrie of Hanley, Stoke-on-Trent. She says, Dear Mrs. Beatles, please sing any song for my friends and I of Form 5G Brownhill High School, particularly Dot, Bobby, Chris, Andy and Val, fans of yours, and Jill and Julie, who think you're horrible.
All right, well, let's see if we can convert them. Will you sing for us Till There Was You?
Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock. We're ready to pop. It's the Pop Go the Beatles spot. John Lennon, George Harrison, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr. That's the Beatles. And this is Rodney Burke. All right, let's pop. And it's John and Paul with I'm Gonna Sit Right Down and Cry Over You. I'm going to sit right down and cry over you. That's sad. Dear Beatles, this is an urgent message. Please make George sing anything for Susan Rose, who is in hospital after an operation. She's mad about George, and she goes on to say it'll make her feel much better. Well, I hope it does. Lots of fondest love from Chris Droylsden, and this is from Manchester. Now, Paul, you got one there. Would you give us that?
Yeah, this comes from Surrey. It's for Christine, Barbara, Diane.
And there's a request here from Anne Horton, who's the Sheriff of Blackpool. And she says, will you play for my cousin Tina, who is suffering from a severe attack of McCartneyitis, and also me and the rest of our Beatle mad mates, a song by Paul. And this one's called The Honey Boot Sog.
The Honey Boot Sog? You what?
Well, you see, I've got a terrible nose.
All right, Paul, the honeymoon song. And that's it again. The Beatles, their guests this week, the Swinging Blue Jeans, producer Terry Hennebery, and me, Rodney Burke, must pop up till next Tuesday at 5 when once again, Pop will go the Beatles. It's 5 o'clock. We're ready to pop in the Pop Go the Beatles spot. George Harrison, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, and Ringo Starr, that's the Beatles, and Rodney Burke, that's me. Okay? And straight away, here's Paul to tell you all about Long, Tall Sally. Long, tall Sally? Well, it can't be the one I know. She's a pally Sally, but she doesn't dally. Still, that's my problem. Now, there's a card here from Pamela Buckman of Deal, Kent, who says she missed a concert the Beatles did recently in Margate because she was ill, and asks could they make up for the disappointment in missing them and sing a song especially for her. Well, it's a pleasure, Pamela, because here they are with Please, Please Me. What kind of fool am I? All right, I know it's the wrong number, but I never get to sing around here. Okay, I'll stick to the announcing bit, like reading these two cards here. The first one says, we do not believe all the requests are sent in by different people. We believe you write them. We believe you wrote this. Sheila and Susan from Edinburgh. Well, I can assure you that all the requests are as genuine as my Scots accent. No, they really are, and just to show there's no ill feeling, here's John and Paul to sing their latest Beatle recording, She Loves You. There you are, you see, She Loves You. Which is more than I can say for the 21 Herberts from Rains Park who sent this card. It says, Dear Leather Lungs Lennon, please would you sing Really Got a Hold on Me? If you do not, you are in danger of receiving a little parcel that ticks. P.S. And it won't be a clock. Sing, John. We're not going quite yet because here's a request for the Beatles from the Beatle collectors of East Barnet Grammar School. All right, well, add this one to your collection as they sing, I'll Get You. That was a crafty, long quickie from the Beatles. I've got a woman. And I've just got time to say cheerio on behalf of the Beatles and their guests, the Hollies, our producer Terry Henneberry, and me, Rodney Burke. We're back next Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Till then, keep swinging. She loves you, and you love them. And I know because, well, here are only a couple of the many requests for that number, and I reckon that one will go right to the top of the chart. Well, the first one from Carol Wright and Julie Farr of Widnes and Runcorn, and also Janet and Susan of Dorking in Surrey, and for all of you whose names I couldn't mention, well, if I kept on talking, you'd never hear the songs, would you? And talking of love, here they are again with Words of Love. I just don't understand. Well, you ought to, because that's just the kind of song that you all like to hear the boys do it, if the requests are anything to go by. And I've got a couple of cards here for George to sing a number. The first from Linda of Dudley in Worcestershire and Brenda Pritchard and Barbara Askew of Poplar in London. This last one is on the back of a big coloured picture of Bridget Bardot. Clever, that. Very eye-catching. Well, this is ear-catching, and here's George, and she's got the devil in her heart. And while I'm nagging away here about that, if there are any particular numbers any of you want to hear, let's be hearing from you. On postcards, to the Beatles, care of the BBC Broadcasting House, London West 1. Well, that's more than enough for me, because here's the last one from the Beatles. Slow down. slow down and dead stop, I'm afraid, because... Now for the moment Beatle fans the world over have been waiting for, because here's a brand new record by the Beatles. It's written by Paul and John here. It's only just been released. Tell us something about it.
Well, Andy, it's a record, you see, Rod.
45 RPM.
And just released.
Just released,
And
Tom.
it's called She Loves You!
Dear Mr. Burke, we hate you. You never crack a funny joke, and I'm sure you pay the Beatles to laugh at you. But we'll take it all back if you get them to sing a song for us. Love to the Beatles from Rosemary, Jane, Carol, Diane, Leslie, and Lynn of Chatham. Well, I'll let you into a secret. The Beatles hate me too, and they pay me not to crack any funny jokes, so there. Anyway, I've asked them nicely for you, and just for you, they're going to sing Anna.
It's 5 o'clock. We're ready to pop. In the pop go the Beatles spot. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. That's the Beatles, and this is Rodney Burke. All right, let's pop. Here are the Beatles, and from them, it's from me to you.
Here's a Dear John letter. John, you make with the words.
Dear John letter, could you please sing for us Money, as we both think it's fab? If you don't, we shall be disappointed, but we will still love you. This is for Helen and Elaine, from two John lovers.
Another request here from Patsy, Jane, Fred, and Ava of Richmond. And for the same number, Margaret Jackson and friends of Sidcup, Kent. All right, fellas, let's have the lolly. And another little request spot in here, and there's a place for Fiona Ellis of Queen's Mansions, Hammersmith, Christopher Bray of Bristol, and Terence Maley of Wallasey, who writes, Dear Sir, I'm requesting this for my friend John Pennington. Well, that's very polite. Well, sir, here you are.